Good morning, everybody. This is Jess Riley, Life Insurance Sales Director here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I'm getting ready to kick off our webinar this morning. Thanks, everybody, for jumping on. We're going to be talking with Mr. John Inting from Inting Financial Services. We're going to be talking about a really unique product option that we have available here through Iams. Some really great positioning opportunities there. So we're going to be covering a lot of great stuff. Appreciate you guys all jumping on with us. As usual, we do want to go ahead and start off by going through some information about Iams. Those of you that are new to us, definitely want to pay attention here. We've got a lot of great things that we can offer for agents that are working with Iams. We want to make sure and highlight those for you before we get to the main part of the presentation. So first thing I want to hit on is our new producer builders. So if you are a new agent with Iams, we've got some incentives for you as you hit different production levels with us. We want to highlight those here. So just getting on board with us, if you hit the $100,000 level on the FIA side or $10,000 of target premium, we're offering a 1,500-piece postcard mailer, the most recent iPad, $750 cash, or pre-formatted emails along with a marketing analysis and corporate identity package. So that's at the $100,000 level. If you get up to the $250,000 level, we will offer up to a 3,000-piece postcard mailer or $2,000 in marketing reimbursement for you. Or if you just want to do something fun with it, you can also take $1,500 in a Visa gift card. Or as you can see there, newspaper ad, marketing collateral, which would include a brochure, a fact finder, a lead magnet, and a one-pager, or a microsite. So again, that's a lot of value there just for hitting that $250,000 level. If you get up to $500,000, now everything is just growing and growing. We're offering up to a 5,000-piece mailer. A Matt Gill training session, one of our valued partners here that's been working with Iams for a number of years, been very successful, so that's worth its weight in gold. You could also have a 4,000-piece postcard mailer for a seminar with Dave Pemper. You could spend some time at a Ritz-Carlton if you want to just treat yourself, as the kids say these days, or you could do a billboard ad, seminar presentation, email distribution, or full website build out or overhaul of a current website. Again, a lot of groups would make you get at least $1 million of production to be looking at that website. That's something that we're offering up at the $500,000 level. We want to show our commitment to you guys. If you hit $750,000, now we're offering Retirement Boss Radio, where you can get up to 8 recorded shows. Or you could do 2 Social Security seminars with the 50 guaranteed buying units. If you'd rather do annuity leads, we could offer you $4,500 in lead credits there, or 1 video complete with a social media campaign to go along with that to generate some good leads and prospects. If we jump up to the $1 million level, now we're talking about a brand builder plus getting published in major news outlets, so ABC, Fox News, NBC, all of the above. If you're more interested in a workshop, we could do an 8,000-piece mailer for you. That includes what we call ETM, which is Enhanced Tactical Marketing. So in addition to the mail drop, we're doing some things behind the scenes to make sure people are seeing your information online as well. That'll certainly increase your response ratio there and get more people in the seats. If you chose to, you could also choose either 8 to 10 preset annuity appointments. Any of you guys that are using those types of programs know those things are about $300 to $400 a pop per lead, but they are very qualified and they'll generate some good business for you. So there's some great value there. Or we could do 3 videos, consumer-facing brochures, custom articles, or some special projects if there's something else in particular you have in mind. We also want to hit on the business builders here. These are ways that you can increase your capital without really doing a lot of legwork on your end. So we always appreciate referrals, just like you guys appreciate them from your clients. So if you refer an agent to us, you get a $50 bonus when that agent that you referred over gets contracted with any of Iams carriers. Once that advisor you referred to us produces their first piece of business, you get an extra $100. And then as they continue to write business with us, we're going to continue to pay essentially a little bit of override on what they're doing as a thank you for bringing that person or persons to us. So you can see there, if you're writing life insurance primarily, it's going to be 15 basis points. If it's indexed annuities, it's 20 basis points. Single premium life, you can see is a little bit lower there, and multi-year guarantees are 10 basis points. So again, we want to encourage you to refer other agents you may know looking for a home like Iams to us. We'll certainly make sure it's worth your while to do so. We do also offer the marketing reimbursement program. So every $100,000 of indexed annuity premium you hit, you're going to get $100 in your marketing reimbursement account. Now, if you're a new agent to Iams, you're going to be getting this in addition to what we showed on the previous screen as a new agent. So keep that in mind. A little more leverage if you're selling single premium life. So if you sell $100,000 there, we're going to give you $200 of marketing money. And then life target premium, you hit the 10,000 mark there, then we'll also credit $200 to your marketing account. And that account continues to grow as you write business. So if you're wanting to build up, for any specific marketing event that you have coming up, there's certainly a way that Iams can partner to help you do that. One of the areas that all IMOs are going to talk about is the back office support. And almost all of them are going to say the same thing. We have the best. Well, not to be redundant, but Iams does truly have the best back office support in the business. That's something we've hung our hat on for 35 years now. That is not ever going to change. So we do a lot of things on the back office side to help you. And the big thing is we help you work smarter, not harder. So we've got a lot of business building tools and resources available. We can help with things like case design, and that's anything from your basic case all the way up to advanced markets planning. Forms at your fingertips through the Iams website. A lot of agents aren't utilizing that and aren't aware of all of the tools that are available out there. So I would encourage you, if you're not registered for the site, to go out there, get yourself registered and look around a little bit. A lot of good things available for you there. Submission to commission support is just like it sounds. From the second that you sign that app and get it into Iams, we're going to scrub the application for you. We're going to get it to the carrier as quickly as humanly possible once it's in good order. And then we're going to follow up with that case all the way through the process until you are paid. And it's great to have that kind of support. We want to be on your staff, but not on your payroll. So think about that. You basically have a back office staff that you're not paying for in Iams, and we want to make sure that you guys are utilizing all of the services there. Life and annuity quotes are available on the website, or your dedicated sales directors can certainly help run those as well. And then again, with the expertise and coaching, that's where you're working with the sales directors and the staff here at Iams to help you on different concepts, whether that be sales ideas and concepts, or how to talk to a prospect that first time you get them on the phone. We've got a lot of coaching expertise and experience here to help you. Then, of course, the paperless contracting system, which a lot of groups are using now, but certainly makes life a lot easier than it was, 10 years ago when you had to fill out individual contracts for every single carrier you wanted to appoint with. Kind of tying into that, one of the big things we want to highlight is the Firelight system that we have available with Iams, and that is also on our website. A lot of this is going to be more focused on the annuity side. On the life insurance side, we use iPipeline and the iGo e-app, but there are a couple carriers that use Firelight on the life side as well. Again, this is the great system where it allows you to write annuity applications electronically, so I encourage you to register for the Firelight system if you have not already. If you're unaware how to do that, please give us a call. We'll be happy to show you how to get registered there. Kind of a quick look at the carriers that are on the Firelight system now and who's coming. As you can see, most of the big names are available there. I think the industry understands that the way of the world is electronic. just guessing, but I'd say here within the next 5 years or so, the paper application will probably not be utilized at all, or maybe very minimally. So all the big players are on board. We've got a few that are still coming, as you can see on the right side there. Expect them to be approved anytime now. Now, I also want to hit on the creative team. The creative team here are some of the strongest people in our organization, and a lot of times they're behind the scenes, so they don't always get all that credit that they should. But our creative team is outstanding. If you can go out online and view our creative microsite, you can see examples of the projects they've done for our advisors. It's second to none. So I want to make sure we highlight some of the things that they can do for you as well. Whether that be Turnkey Solutions, as you see here, so things that are ready to print, we're putting your logo, your agency information on there. So they're professionally written. They've got handouts, flyers, newsletters, postcards, the whole bit. So if you're not really wanting to write content, you're just looking for something that's ready to roll but branded to you, we've got it. If you are building an agency, we have fully customizable branding materials, so we can help with things like logo design, help with the design of your business cards, the stationery, the brochures that you need for your agency, and also help with advertising to really help recruit strong agents to work with you there. And then lastly, we do have several things we can do in the digital solution side. So you can see the examples of the online marketing projects our creative team works on. They can build fully customizable websites or revamp your current site. They can help with tons of digital marketing strategy. So, different ways that we can get out to people through social networks, etc. They are experts in that area. Again, e-marketing and consulting, online newsletters, all of these things you guys need to be doing now to really make sure we're maximizing our marketing efforts. Our creative team can help there, and they are, again, the best in the business. I had mentioned a few of these things earlier, but I want to hit on it again. If you are not registered for our website, I'd encourage you to go do so immediately after this webinar. We've got a ton of tools out there. We have term quotes, universal life quotes from the life side that you can run there. We have annuity rate watch on our website, so you can see the latest and greatest in regards to current annuity products, caps, rates, etc., all in one place. We have forms available online for most all of our carriers, whether that be marketing forms or applications that you're wanting to save to your desktop to write. Lots of industry news and updates available on the site. And then again, information on the annuity, life, and LTC products that we have available are all out there. So again, definitely check that out. If you have not gone in and checked out the sales resource library, I really implore you to do that. There are a ton of client presentations and fact finders and concept pieces out there in the sales resource library. They're all there for you guys. So go out there and take advantage of that stuff. One key piece of software that you hear a lot about in our industry is the Retirement Analyzer. It has been around for a number of years. It's one of the more popular retirement software platforms in the industry, and it's that way for a reason. What I say about this a lot of times is it gives the client the ability to take their retirement plan out of their head and put it to the test. We all have an idea where we want to go in retirement. Very few of us actually have a track to follow to get there, and that's where you guys all come into play. The Retirement Analyzer software does a great job of taking that plan out of their head and kind of putting it to the test to see, hey, are you on the right track to get where you want to go? And if you're not, how can we fix that? And so that's a great tool that is available for agents here. Make sure and ask your sales director about that if you're interested in learning more. I also want to hit on the Iams Wealth Management side of things. This is the Iams Wealth side has been growing tremendously over the last 2 to 3 years. Got a great team of folks over there that certainly know their stuff and have been just knocking it out of the park. And some of the reasons that you might want to look at the wealth management side are listed below here. So increased revenue. I mean, if you have your Series 65, you're obviously making those management fees. So that's revenue that you have coming in every month or every year. You see an increase in your fixed and indexed sales as well. if you're working on that side of things, because the client is bringing all of their business to you instead of just the AUM business or instead of just the fixed business. Certainly helps improve the client retention, because now again you can cover all lines with them, so you can be talking about the investment side as well as the insurance side, and obviously that just makes the client more and more sticky to you as the agent, and then of course strengthens that client relationship. So you're now a fiduciary if you have your Series 65. That's something that's really important to clients, and that just again can help strengthen what you are telling them as far as your commitment to them as a client and your ability to do what's best for them. Now, even if you do not have your Series 65, I would encourage you to talk to the wealth management team. They do have some structure set up where if you refer clients to them for the AUM side, where there's some commission back to you in that. So definitely want to talk to them about that. One other big thing we have coming up is the Top Producer Summit. This is one we're really excited about. We've made this a really nice long qualification period for you guys. Obviously, it's been a tough couple of years here. So the qualification period ran from December 1st, 2020, goes all the way into June of 2022. So there's still lots of time to qualify here. As you can see, it takes 4.5 million points rather to qualify, and that can be a combination of annuity and life production. This is a really nice Mediterranean cruise. You can see the ports of call there. We're going to kick off in Rome and end up in Venice, so it's going to be a really great opportunity. And again, still plenty of time to qualify, guys, so keep pushing on that. We'd love to have as many of you there as possible. Also want to talk about this. If you are writing annuities and you work with Athene, want to make sure you're aware of this. This is a producer social and educational event that's taken place on Hilton Head Island in South Carolina. If you are a golfer, you'll know that this is one of the best areas for golf in the United States. And so Athene has a really nice incentive set up for Iams agents here, where they're going to be at the Omni right there in Hilton Head. Qualification on that runs until December 31st of this year. Again, still plenty of time. $2 million of production gets you there. So keep pushing if you're close. That's going to be a fun event. Also, want to make sure you're all aware that Iams is back in the process of doing our producer academies. In fact, we had one just a couple of weeks back, very successful. We partnered with Athene and did that one in Des Moines. Great turnout, great feedback. We don't have the next one scheduled yet, but it's looking like sometime in Q1 of 2022. So more details to come on that. You can see the topics that we'll cover. We'll have tons of proven producers there giving sales strategies and ideas. We're going to be talking about large case marketing, different concepts, whether it's personal or business, and of course covering all the software and tools that we have available for you. So, stay tuned for that. When we get the next one set up, you guys will be made aware so we can get you there. And then lastly, follow us and like us on the socials here. We are on Facebook. We are on LinkedIn. Find us out there. Make sure you follow us. We post a lot of good content out there. We want to make sure you guys are finding it in all ways possible. So please make sure and follow us on the socials there. And then if you do have any questions on anything we covered today or just in general, please feel free to give us a call. Got the toll-free number on the screen here, which is 800-255-5055. Please give us a call if there's anything that we can help you with or any questions that we can help answer for you. Okay, so now we have got the commercial complete. Let's get into the fun stuff. As I mentioned earlier, we have Mr. John Enting from Enting Financial Services on with us. He's going to be discussing the Unity Funeral Trust product, which is a very unique product, very unique way to position things. And with that said, John, thank you for coming on. I am going to turn the presentation over to you, my friend.
Okay.
So up on your top part where it says display settings there, click that and then switch the screens, and that way it'll switch them over. There you go. Swap. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go.
All right.
There we go. Sorry everybody.
I will move through this quickly, get us caught up. So first and foremost, thank you this morning for joining us on this Monday. I want to let everybody know that I am not a home office employee. I am actually out in the field. I run a financial practice service company here in Columbus. And so I'm not just sitting up in an office telling you that this works. I'm actually, we've implemented in what we do with our clients, and it does work. And we'll talk about why we use Unity Financial, the opportunity that they have for us, the trust that they use for the client to protect their money, the product that we use to fund that trust, and then I'll give you some presentation ideas and tools as we move along. So why Unity Financial? Obviously, we're looking for a company that's going to be able to pay the claims when we need them to. They are family owned and operated. They've been doing this for quite a while. This is all that they focus on. So they're very good and very laser focused on what they do. They offer an irrevocable funeral trust and an estate planning trust. It's a guarantee issue, so there's no health questions. Any business you do is going to get issued. And then one-page application. It's really simple, fast, and easy. And then single premium, we're going to talk about that today because that's really all that we use here, even though they do have a dollar for dollar program. And then 1035 exchanges are accepted, and we get paid well for helping the clients do this. So this is just a quick look at the financial stability of the company, just to kind of put that in perspective for you. The conclusion basically is of the averages of the top 25 leading companies. This company shows above average accomplishments for the last 10-year period. So again, they're a growing company. Their financial strength is right where we like to see it. So we're very happy with them in that regard. So we're all in the planning business, as we well know, and their life is going to require planning, and there's things that might happen. Maybe the house will burn down, so we have homeowners insurance. Maybe the car will get wrecked, we have auto insurance, and so on. We're planning for graduations, weddings. It's what we do for our clients. But there is also the inevitable, and that is that everybody at some point is going to pass away. That's the certainty of it all. And there is a chance to do some planning up front for your clients on that. And we've been doing this for about 14 years now, but I'll tell you a little personal story about me. I'm the youngest of 5 kids. My mom and dad divorced when I was 2 years old, so I wasn't really close to my real father. But because I've always been the entrepreneur of the family, everybody kind of leans on me. And that was no different on January 21st of 2011. My oldest sister called to tell me that my dad had passed away. So what ended up happening was that next day I found myself sitting in a funeral director's office, and the funeral director was asking me questions like, what's your dad's mother's maiden name? What's his highest rank in the military? His favorite flower? Who are the pallbearers? What's his favorite hymn? And I didn't know the answer. Getting some distortion there. I didn't know the answer to any of those questions. And so what that made me realize at that point is, yeah, my family dynamics didn't allow me really to be in a position to have all that information. But all these plans that we had done for all these clients over the years, it gave me satisfaction in knowing that they weren't going through that we had put them in a position that they could walk right into the funeral home, take care of that stuff for their loved ones, and have everything in order. So really, that's what we're doing, is we're trying to get that plan put in place for them, but it's something that's hard for them to talk about. And they do have choices. Choice number one, they can go to a funeral home and do what's called a prepaid funeral. That's where you go in, you pick out your casket, other items that they'll lock a price in for you, and you kind of pick your funeral home that you're going to go to. Or you can do it through a representative like myself or the licensed agents with Unity Life, and you can go what we call the final expense way. Now, this isn't like traditional final expense, and I'll explain that to you here in a few minutes, but you do have choices, pre-need side, or you can work with a representative and get the same plan put into place. So one of the first things that we ask our clients is, what do you think a funeral cost? And we'll hear answers all over the board from $6,000 to $20,000. But we do share with them that the average funeral is around $15,000. We are hearing a lot more about cremations. And so we're recommending, if they're talking about a cremation and a memorial service and all that stuff, somewhere around that $7,000 to $8,000 range is what they would want to look at putting away to take care of the final expenses. Now, one thing that we do know due to a national survey is that 72% of the people thought it was a good idea to do this planning, but 64% had not taken any steps to do so. And the one thing I know about everybody on this call, your clients aren't any different than mine. We're all working in that retirement market. And so what ends up happening is we think the reason that people don't go do their planning is, today it's a beautiful day here in Columbus, Ohio. I don't think a spouse wakes up and rolls over and looks at their wife and says, hey, let's go down and pick out our caskets today. The human mind can only think about its own demise for about 11 seconds, and then it moves on to something different. So again, we know that Americans have not prepaid their funerals, and we're going to give you the opportunity to be able to show them how to do that, do a service for your client, and get paid well for doing it. So one of the things I love about our market is, if you're in this retirement market, how exciting is it? From 2010 until 2025, they expected 80 million people to file for Social Security benefits. I call that a prospecting pool. That's 80 million new people since 2010 that have aged into the market that we serve. And I think that's wonderful if we're out there serving that market. Now, one of the things people say to me is, how do you start the conversation? So a lot of times, if we're going through a review with a client or it's a new client that we've brought on, we're going to talk to them and ask them, have they done anything for long-term care protection? Now, normally we know the answer to that because 93% of all Americans have done nothing to protect their life work. But we want to ask them that question because if they tell us that they don't have any type of protection for long-term care, obviously we want to note that and see if we can help them with that. But number two, we want to point out what the costs are, because what ends up happening is, if you don't have that care paid for with a long-term care policy or a hybrid policy, whatever you're using, then you're going to have to pay for that care. And so when you start pointing numbers out to them on a national average, what care cost or what home health care cost, they're going to quickly realize that many people are going to need long-term care, and they're going to have to qualify for Medicaid because they haven't put the protection in place to take care of it themselves. And again, Medicaid is basically just the government stepping in to pick up your health care cost when you're no longer to take care of yourself. So that's important, because what the funeral trust will do is the funeral trust will give them some immediate protection on some immediate dollars if they're in the process or know that they're going to have to be spending all their money at a long-term care facility. So how does it all fit together? We're basically just taking life insurances and the advantage of an irrevocable funeral trust, and we're blending those together. So we're telling our clients, hey, let's permanently set this side of this money for your final expenses. We know this is going to happen at some point. At what point, we don't know, but certainly we know we're all going to pass away, and we want to make it easy for that family. And then by having that trust hold the money, we're effectively spending down that asset. So in the event they do need long-term care, the nursing home doesn't take that money, that money is there for their final expenses when their family needs it the most. So the trust itself is free. The trust is, there's no charge through Unity Financial. So what would happen, and I'll just kind of walk you down through this. Let's say we did a single premium, and that single premium allowed us to put $15,000 away. We're going to get 100% protection from Medicaid spend down on that money. So if you have a husband and wife, they can do $15,000 each. That gets $30,000 off of their countable assets in the event they would need some type of long-term care. The policies are irrevocably assigned to the funeral trust. What does that mean? It means what it says. It's irrevocable. The client's money is not coming out of this trust till they pass away. So you want to make sure that you articulate that to your client that this is an irrevocable trust. The company's going to give them simple growth declared annually. They're going to pay the funeral home first out of the money. Any remaining money out of a funeral trust has to go back to the estate of the insured. I'll explain that to you here in a little bit why. And then the irrevocable funeral trust is protected from nursing homes, long-term care facility, and creditors. And then again, all the policy proceeds are going to pay out tax-free. So just take a quick little look at this chart here. This chart is showing you what we're looking for, and that's a yes in every column. And as you can see here, the only program that's going to meet every column with a yes is going to be that irrevocable funeral trust. So lots of savings instruments, lots of ways to pay for a funeral, but again, ours is going to hit all the key points on what we're trying to do. So again, why is it a better choice? It's real simple. The money's going to be 100% secured. It can be used at any funeral home. So if you go prepay at a funeral home, you're picking that funeral home. So if you go to your funeral home in your community and you prepay your funeral, you've locked yourself into that funeral home. The thing I like about portability is I've been doing this for a long time. We have clients whose kids take jobs in different states and they have no other connections here, so they move to follow their kids and grandkids. Well, now if they pass away in that state, they can still go to any funeral home and this program will work for them there, which is a wonderful thing. And then in the event that they have their other assets are tied up in non-liquid investments, or maybe they have life insurance policies, you still got to get a death certificate, file a claim. It's 2 to 3 week process. This money is going to be available immediately for that family to take care of the needs. And in its essence, it's pretty simple. What we're doing is we're putting a lump sum of money in, let's say that $15,000. It's going into a life insurance policy. Now, it's not like a traditional single premium life policy. You're not going to be able to go in and access your cash value. You're not going to put 15,000 in and get a $25,000 death benefit. You're going to start with about a $15,250 death benefit, and then that policy is going to get assigned 30 days after issue to the irrevocable funeral trust. There it's going to earn a little bit of interest, and I say a little bit of interest because this is not a growth product. We like a little bit of interest, and that's good, and we're glad the death benefit's going to grow a little bit, but this is really about protecting the money, because you can get a lot more interest on the 15,000 at a bank or in an annuity. But I got news for you. If you get sick and go in for care, they're going to make you spend that money. This money's going to be there and it's going to be protected from a spend down situation. Again, when a client passes away, we've had many of them pass away because we've been writing the program for so long. What we do is we reach out. The client usually reaches out to us, obviously, tells us somebody passed away. We reach out to their funeral provider. We get a fax number and a contact person. We call Unity with that information, and then we're out of the process, and Unity will have that funeral provider paid within 48 hours to make sure those funds are there to take care of the funeral. So a little comparison of the two trusts that they offer. One is the Irrevocable Funeral Trust over here. It has a 15,000 maximum or state limit. I see we have a lot of people on the call. I'll put up a chart here in a few minutes with what your state limits might look like, depending on where you are. But generally, it's considered an exempt asset by Medicaid. It's not subject to a 5-year look-back period. And then the funeral costs are going to be paid first. Again, any excess funds have to be paid back to the estate of the insured. Now, why is that? Well, the reason for that is if you had somebody that was receiving care and they had been on the dole of the government in care for a year, the government has the right when they pass away to look back at any other assets that they might still own and get recovery up to the amount that they had paid for care for that particular person, which makes sense. So again, if there's anything left over, we do have to pay that back to the estate of the insured. Now with the estate planning trust, it's different because you can put up to 85,000 in there, 100 if you're not using an irrevocable funeral trust. But what's going to happen is it will have a 5-year look back period. I just had a couple good clients of mine that are teachers that fully funded this. They just got through their 5-year look back period. So what will end up happening is if they need any type of care in the future and the government's paying for care, that money that's in the estate planning trust can never be touched. It is going to pay out to their named beneficiaries when they pass away. So I just did an agent academy at the Athene home office a couple weeks ago, and like usual, I had one of the agents ask me, "Hey, John, this is great, but when do I use which trust?" I mean, there's two of them here. So to kind of break it down for you, if I was going to use the funeral expense trust, maybe it's crisis planning. I have an elder law attorney that I've formed a relationship with, and it wouldn't be unusual for him to call me on the 20th of October and say, "Hey, November 1st, I want these clients going on Medicaid. I need to get $30,000 out of the estate. I want to put 15 in a funeral trust for each." So that's crisis planning, right? I mean, he's trying to get this done immediately. Maybe you have someone who they have their spouse is in care right now and they're paying for that care, but they're looking at their assets going, "Whoa, we might run out of money here. We may have to apply for Medicaid." Well, let's get that money protected now so that it's protected when you have to apply for Medicaid and it doesn't go to the nursing home. And then a lot of times I do a lot of public client events to get new clients. We go through this. We ask them, "Hey, have you prepaid your funeral?" We explain to them the benefits. And a lot of time they just want to put the money away, know that part of it's done, and move on with their life. Now, the estate planning trust, maybe Medicaid's a non-issue. Maybe they've got enough money that they're really not concerned with it right now, but at some point in the future they could be subject to it, and they want to just transfer some money to their children in the event they would need care and go through their other assets. So that's what the estate planning trust is going to be used for. You can get a bigger chunk of money in there, but you will have a 5-year look back period. And I like to make this comment on that. That is 60 months. My wife hates when I break everything down into months, but 60 months is not a long time. We know how quick time passes. So again, get over that hurdle with them, start protecting the money, and make sure they know they can then get it to their children or their charities, and it'll be there to go in the manner they want it to go. So what do we do as far as funding the trust? We're using their product, and basically it's a single pay life policy. So I'm just going to focus again on the single pay. That's what we do here. Minimum issue is $500. Maximum issue in Ohio is $15,000. We can issue that from age 10 to age 99. Why is that important? Well, if you have a client who has a lot of money and they've got grandchildren and children, maybe this is a good idea to say to them, "Hey, you're leaving these assets to your kids and your grandkids anyway. Why don't you set these up for them? You can sign for them, you can set it up for them, and they're going to have that forever." So again, a good idea. It'll go from ages 10 to 99. On the estate planning trust, you've got your single pay, $2,000 minimum. You can put up to 85,000 or up to 100 if you're not combining it with the funeral trust, and you can get that issued from ages 50 to 90. I guess they figure that's the people that's going to have, 85, $100,000 to put into the plan. So that's kind of the difference between the two of them and where you would use them. So again, we're putting the money in, we're getting that little bump up. It's going to get that discretionary growth factor. Here's what the growth factors look like right now. They're not exciting. On a funeral trust, ages 10 to 80, it's 0.25%. But you have to remember something. This isn't about growth. This is about protection of the money. The growth is just a bonus that you're getting. Now, if you don't like paperwork, you're going to love doing business with Unity. And I like to share this story. I wrote my very first annuity in 1993. I was with the owner of a dry cleaner in Marion, Ohio, and I wrote a $25,000 annuity. It was the first annuity I had ever written. And it was a 3-page application, and the last page was his receipt. Now, if you're in the business of annuity or managed money or life insurance today, these applications can be anywhere, it can be upwards of 30 pages. So again, This is a very easy process to help you get this done with your client and not bog you down with a lot of unnecessary paperwork. This is the top half of the application. You can see it's pretty simple, just going to be basic information. Down here, you're going to put the amount of premium that you want to submit to the company. Down here, they're going to sign off and you're going to sign off. That's the front page of the application. Down here, you're going to see that there's a question, immediate transfer. So the attorney I was talking about, if I meet with him on the 20th of October and he's trying to get them qualified on the 1st of November, we can't wait 30 days for that policy to be transferred into that trust. He wants it in there immediately so the client can waive the 30 days and we can get that put into the trust immediately if we're in a crisis planning situation. What does the irrevocable funeral trust cover? Better question would be, what doesn't it? Everything that you're going to need to do a funeral, you can use money that is set aside in the trust to take care of everything you're seeing on the screen here. So here's your individual state limits. You can kind of take a look through there. The questions I normally get, and I'll go ahead and answer those up front, is like Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is by county. So if you live in Pennsylvania and you want to write Unity Life, reach out to Unity Life once you're licensed. They're very proactive in helping you. They'll let you know, or at least put you in the right put you in contact with the right people to find out what each Pennsylvania county will allow. But you can see here in Ohio, we can do up to $15,000 in the irrevocable funeral trust. But let's say that you live where Iams is located in Nebraska, and you can only put $4,978 into an irrevocable funeral trust, and you know the funeral is going to cost $15,000. Well, take that balance of the money and put it into the estate planning trust. Yeah, it's not immediately excluded, but at least you're giving them a chance. You're starting that 5-year clock ticking on the balance of that money. So again, this is what it looks like in the areas. Now, when you see the goods and services contract, that is if you wrote it on somebody and they passed away and the government was paying for their long-term care, and the government came back and was trying to collect money for the estate for up to the amount of care they had paid for, the social worker could say, hey, I see you put that into the irrevocable funeral trust. We just need to see a goods and services contract that money went towards your funeral, and that can be provided pretty easily. So what about presenting it to clients? Where do I start if I have interest in this? I had a great mentor in this business, and he used to tell me, anytime you learn something new or a new product, some way you think you can help a client, always bring it up on the annual review if you have a chance. And I asked him why, and he said, well, because number one, you're dealing with people who like you, they trust you, they know you've done good for them in the past, and they're going to be more receptive. And if you're new to what you're presenting, you'll be more comfortable presenting it, because if you make a little misstep, it's not really going to matter in the big picture. So again, on an annual review is a great place to talk to them about this product. You're going to present that funeral trust funding. You're going to stress to them the benefits of planning ahead. I had an agent at one of the academies a few years ago say, John, I don't know how to say this to you, but man, I wish I had the story about your dad. And I said, well, use that story about my dad. Just tell him you met a good friend that does this in the business, and he shared this story about his dad and how his other clients didn't have to worry about this, because they really don't. Once you get this into place, that can be used with any funeral home. And then it will take 1035 exchange money. Why is that important? Your clients don't understand if they own those old paid up policies that, they pull them out and they smell musty, and they've got 10,000 of cash value and 12,000 of death benefit. They don't understand they don't get both of those numbers when they pass away. So explain to them, if you get sick and go in a nursing home, they're going to make you spend that 10,000. That is your money. So why don't we 1035 exchange your cash value? Yes, you're giving up a couple thousand in death benefit, but now you've protected the $10,000 because if you get sick and go to a nursing home, they'll make you spend the $10,000 and you could end up losing the life insurance policy. So again, 1035 exchanges on old cash value, they will take that. And then again, you're giving them that peace of mind of knowing that they've planned ahead, the funds are protected, and quite frankly, we don't have to deal with the subject anymore. You've done a really nice job for them. Now, where do you find the money? Our standard procedure when we talk to a client about this program is we tell them this: Mrs. Jones, I want to tell you something right up front. You're not buying anything today. And in essence, if you think about it, they're not. They are simply repositioning an asset that's countable for a long-term care spend down, and they are putting that asset over into a non-countable spend down product that's going to be there for what they need it for the most, and that's to pay for their final expenses. So the money's already there. You just need to ask for it and show them how you can help them. When you're working with Unity, they have some really great pieces for you. They've got their, I would definitely read through the producer's guide. It's easy. It'll help you in your appointments. They've got some brochures for you on the estate planning trust, on the funeral trust that will really help you to be able to articulate it to the client. And it's written in layman's terms so that that way your client's not confused with it when you leave it behind. This to me is the most important thing that they put out. This is offered through Unity at no cost to you. If I would have had this filled out for my dad, like we have our clients fill it out for themselves when we do this program, I could have walked into that funeral home for my dad. I could have handed them the Unity policy. I could have handed them this planning guide, and they could have taken care of my dad's funeral basically with about 5% of the input that would normally be needed from me in a situation to take care of a funeral, because this is going to list everything from their highest rank in the military to their favorite hymn to who the pallbearers are going to be. It's basically giving a roadmap for the survivors to be able to take care of the funeral and not have to worry about finding all that information. I'm going to go back to it a second here. So this is all done in high gloss, and when you open up the inside, it's basically going to ask them for all the answers to the questions needed to take care of the funeral. But what I do want to point out to you is my mentor always told me if I ever sold somebody something, to leave them a task to keep them engaged. So when we sell one of these programs, we leave this for the client at the point of sale, and we tell them, hey, you need to complete this because when I bring your policy back, we're going to put it with this planning guide. And if I had never met you before and you passed away, I could take this and your Unity policy into the funeral home, and I could take care of your final expenses for you. So Unity has an exclusive agent website. You can go on there and check your commissions. You can order supplies, materials, anything that you would need. They've got a number for you to call if that doesn't get your questions answered. And they are very, very good from the person working the phones when you call to the president of the company. If you want to talk to them, they will engage in conversation with you. So why start today? We've showed you your clients need it. They're thinking about it. It's a great income opportunity. The trusts are free. If you go down to our elder law attorney and you want to talk about an irrevocable trust to hold, other assets as well, but it's $7,500 to start the party, and then it goes up from there based on what work he does for you. The trusts are free. The funds are totally portable. Again, any funeral home provider you can take it to. It gives your clients that peace of mind of knowing it's done. Again, if you hate paperwork, you'll love doing this program. And if you like to get paid for your work, you'll love doing this program as well. So I just put this together, ran a couple things, and saw that if we did 2 couples each month, so you license with Unity, you do go out and do your reviews, you get just 2 couples each month, and you're only working 10 months out of the year, and they each put $15,000 into a program, you can generate $60,000 in commission to your bottom line. My mentor always told me, don't rely on one stream of income. So in other words, if you're an annuity person and that's all you're selling is annuities, that's great. Keep up the good work. But you should be looking to create a couple other of income legs on your income stool that will produce revenue for you, this is one of those that will certainly do it. So if we just take a look here, and I'll go to age 66 to 70, you went out and did a review, you showed them how you can protect the money, get their affairs in order, you're going to make 13.5% commission on 30 grand. That's about $4,000 for going out and doing your review with your client. If you get, we've had some clients that have been doing the reviews and have gotten on a roll, and it's not uncommon, you know, $8,000 or $12,000 in a month just from out talking about the product. Now, what they will do at Unity, they have a fast start incentive. They'll pay you a $200 bonus for your first $25,000 of face amount issued into the funeral trust within the first 30 days of appointment. We always want to make sure that we're ready to overcome any challenges that we might face when we're talking about a new product with a client. Have confidence. They think it's a great idea. We saw the survey. They're just not doing it. They don't want to go to that funeral home and pick out their casket. Stress those benefits of pre-planning. Let's put the money ahead. Let's get the guide filled out. Let's have that put in place so if you pass away tomorrow, your wife or your kids can walk right in. It's already a stressful enough situation when you lose somebody and emotional. This, you can walk in and take that burden off of the people you care about. And again, every client, every day, it doesn't take much time to say, have you prepaid your funeral? So frequently asked questions, when do I get paid? They process commissions on Monday and they pay them out to you on Tuesday morning. Cash with app, obviously, if they want you to do a withdrawal from their bank account, they can do that. You can fill an app out, you can fill out an ACH form, and they can withdraw the $15,000 right out of their bank account. It normally with us, we're picking up a check from the client, and then again, the business will get issued because nobody's going to get turned down. So you get it submitted, you get the money in there, the client's going to get the contract issued, and you're going to get paid. You have all access to company management, and not just with Unity, but if you have questions once you're licensed, that life team at Iams is very prepared to help you. If they don't know the answer to a question, then they'll reach out to me. If I don't know the answer, I'll reach out to Higher Brass, but we'll get you the answer to the question. Again, I went over their marketing service. This is the brochures, the flyers, and then you can see all of your information online in that portal. So to wrap things up for you today and try to keep you on time, I'm going to tell you a quick story about this guide for beneficiaries that I developed about 6 or 7 years ago. You're not going to see every page of it because it's got a lot of information in it for the beneficiaries, but I think the story to it's more important and you'll see the value. So basically what happened to me was about 6 or 7 years ago, I had a client that had about a $500,000 annuity on. Daughter was the sole beneficiary. Daughter called me to tell me that mom had passed away. I said, oh, I'm so sorry to hear about that. You know, you got to get through what you got to get through, but a couple weeks from now, we need to sit down because you're the sole beneficiary of this annuity contract. And she said to me, oh, John, don't worry about that. I've already talked to the guy at the bank. He said, bring it in. They're going to take care of all of that for me. Well, at that point, I was mad. I'd worked hard to get that case. And then I thought I was keeping the $500,000 and working with the daughter. And because of me not being prepared for that situation, now the banker was getting it. And then that did happen. And I did lose the $500,000. But I decided to develop this guide for beneficiaries because I was going to try to prevent it from happening to me again. So what we did is we took this guide out, we collected all new data on every client, we gave them the guide, we explained to them the importance of it. In a 6-month period, we wrote $1.5 million of a new annuity premium, about $200,000 of traditional single premium life, and about $150,000 into the Irrevocable Funeral Trust. Now, the reason for that was the guide and collecting all the new data, because you think your clients tell you everything. I got news for you. They don't. And what we found with this, the more we did, the better we got at it and the more money we found. So this is what it looks like branded to me. This is what I use. Now, once you're licensed with Unity through Iams, the creative team can show you how to get this branded for your company. And the basics of it is this: I want that client's family to know, and I want this right there with their will, their trust, whatever they got that's important, that for help settling my estate, call my advisor at Inting Financial Services. We want to make sure we have an opportunity to not lose that case. One of a great success story we had was around last October, so a year ago. We had a client that's in Pennsylvania. The daughter called us and said, "Hey, my dad died. I have this guide for beneficiaries. It says to call Inting Financial Services." Fast forward one appointment with this daughter, we picked up $1 million in new assets between annuities, life insurance, and I'm an investment advisor, so investment money. But that was just from having the guide in the house. She called us, and we didn't lose anything out of that house. So this is just a welcome letter that, you know, you can use what I've written in there. You can change it to whatever you want, but I wanted the clients to know how important they were to us, and that we're going to be there for their family to help them settle their estate and to get the questions answered and get the claims filed and to do all the hard work to make it easier on those kids or surviving spouse. So behind this document is a whole section of who do you call, letters to Social Security, letter to the credit card company, letter to the pension companies telling them someone's passed away, we need to stop the pension. Everything you could need is inside the guide. And then we also update this financial organizer with them when we go in. We update everything. And when I say everything, we're doing everything. This is where we found that $1.5 million in annuity premium and the single premium life that I was sharing with you. And then question 8, have you prepaid your funeral? It's yes or no. If they say no, I'm not going to launch into a sales pitch, but we're certainly going to have that conversation because I know they have the money to do it. But what if they say yes? Yeah, John, we went down to Shedinger Funeral Home and prepaid our funeral. The next question is, do you have any other money that you would like to have a chance to go to your beneficiaries and not get lost to a nursing home in the event you get sick? If they say yes, then we're talking about the estate planning trust with them. So again, this is just a great organizer to help you update all their assets, find some things that they maybe haven't told you about, and then be able to come back and present that to them and make some sales. So the last page is notes. That's how we do it here at Inting Financial Services. I appreciate all your attention. Sorry about the glitch at the front. We'll work that out. I've never seen that before. But we got to what we came here to do, and that was talk about the Irrevocable Funeral Trust and Unity. Any questions? I'll be happy to take them.
Hey, John, one
Yes.
question did pop up here asking if an e-app is available for this product.
It is not. They do not have an e-app, but you can fax the app in, you know, the traditional way. You can mail it, but as of this moment, no, there is not an e-app. But I've had that question before, and I have put that bug in their ear.
Okay. Thank you very much. I don't see any other questions at this time. Now, if there are questions that come up, as John mentioned, feel free to contact any of your sales directors here at Iams. We will be more than happy to help answer those. And again, this is a really unique product. So, John, I'm going to ask a couple poll questions, but I do want to thank Mr. Inting for jumping on with us here. His knowledge is in this area is obviously unmatched, and he does a lot of good business with these funeral trust and estate planning trust products. There's good commission to be made, and more importantly, you're helping these families out. You're helping them with some pre-planning. So, John, appreciate you coming on as always.
Thank you.
I am going to just ask a couple of quick poll questions here, everybody. I want to get some feedback from you. So you're going to see those pop up on your screen. If you would, please take some time to answer those for us. That would be gratefully appreciated. So it is should be distributing to you now. You should be seeing that. If you can click a yes or a no, that would be great. Just give that a minute or two for everybody to get their answers in. All right, thank you. Got two more I'd like to throw out there. Here comes the next one. And really, I think this product can be a benefit for any of you if you're out writing insurance. You're going to have clients that want to protect money in the event they become sick, as John mentioned earlier. So certainly think this could be a product that all of you could utilize. And by the poll responses coming back, it looks like a resounding yes. So I do appreciate that. We'll close that one out. And then one last question here. In order to sell this product, you do need to be appointed with the carrier, of course. So just kind of taking a poll on whether or not you'd like to be contracted with Unity. Again, this is, from what I've seen, the strongest funeral trust product out there. I think John would agree. So if you're interested, this is the chance to let us know. Okay. All right, everybody. Again, I do appreciate you joining us today. I do apologize for the technical glitch there at the beginning. I promise John and I will have that worked out for the next one. Again, John, thank you very much for jumping on and spending some time with us today. And look forward to hearing from all of you very soon.
Have a great day.